Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome to World Monologue Games. You are watching Endurance United Kingdom. My name is Pete Malicki and I am the creator of the games. Going to tell you a little bit about the event and then I'm going to hand over to our performers. So World Monologue Games was set up last year and it is an acting competition and showcase. We are featuring performers from 51 different countries this year, which is pretty massive. It's almost a third of the world's countries. And we're running 27 live stream events across 6 categories. You're watching Endurance tonight, which is for performances of monologues that run for 5 to 10 minutes. You, as our viewers, get to vote and select your 2 favourite performers from the show and help select the winners for our global finals. So we're putting 8 people from across the 6 endurance category events through into the global finals later on in the year. Fair warning, there might be some strong language or adult themes in the show, so please, if you're sensitive to anything, be aware that that content might be included. I will, on the previous note of the voting, I'll come back on at the end and explain how that's done. You can't vote yet because the show hasn't happened, but yeah, I'll publish a link to a voting form. You'll be able to do it there. What else do I need to say? Sometimes you see the same performer more than once at the games because we let people enter multiple times, and sometimes people do the same monologue because we let them pick whatever. If you enjoy the show, please hit the like button. That helps us reach more people. You can subscribe so that you can get updates, notifications for our other events. We have a bunch of other shows. If you look into the description of this video, there's links to our whole season and a whole bunch of other things. That's probably about all from me for now. What I'm going to do now is play a pre-recorded message from Chen Tang, who is our global ambassador, and then I'm going to hand over to the actors. So I hope you enjoy the regional finals of World Monologue Games 2021, Endurance United Kingdom.
Hey there everyone, my name's Chen Zhang, and I'm the Global Ambassador for the World Monologue Games. Welcome to the Regional Livestream Finals. I hope you enjoy the show.
Every other author looks like a Hollywood star on Facebook Live. I look like some bloody book hag. Maybe it's the angle. That's slightly better. That's the best I can do. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Oh. Hello and welcome to my Facebook Live session, my new novel. For those who don't know me, and according to my sales figures that's a lot of people, my name is Jessie Legree. I'm an erotic romance author and I've come online today to talk about my latest novel, The Hungry Housewife. It's an erotic romance about a lonely, bored housewife who embarks on a series of raw, passionate affairs while her husband is away on business trips. Be warned, it's hot and steamy and not for the faint-hearted or the weak-hearted. Okay, I'll just read you a passage from the first page, if I may. Excuse me for just 1 second. Kyle! Kyle! Leave the cat alone! Kyle! Kyle, put the cat down! No! No, not in the fish tank! For God's sake! Sorry about that. Slight technical hitch. Now then, where were we? Yes, The Hungry Housewife, Chapter 1, A Nightmare Knock. The August night was hot. So hot, Jemima tossed and turned in her king-sized bed, the black satin sheets wrinkling under her sweating body like the waves on a moonlit ocean. The night air was still, and not a drop of breeze entered through her open bedroom rooms. Suddenly there was a rustle and scrape as a figure dressed in black climbed through the window. A shadow fell across her bed. She smiled and said, No, I can't find the leftover sardines. I know the cat's upset. Can you please deal with it? I'm on Facebook Live. I think they're in the fridge. In the Tupperware, the one with the yellow plastic lid underneath the bacon. Oh shit. Oh, I forgot to press pause. Sorry about that. You know what husbands are like? Mine couldn't find a fish in a fishmonger's. Okay. Anyway, a shadow fell across her bed. She smiled and said, You're early. Mark just left. He might have caught you. The figure in the mask laughed quietly and said, Don't worry, darling. That's the only time I'll come early tonight. I just couldn't wait to be with you. He slid into the sheets and into her arms. Okay, Kyle. Yeah, just remember to wipe and flush. What? No, wait. No, the cat doesn't want to go potty. Stephen! The cat's down the toilet. Kyle, no, hold on, baby, don't flush. Steve, get the bloody cat out of the toilet, will you? Oh, excuse me for just one moment. Okay, now, that's the first page, the meeting of Jessie and her mysterious masked lover. I'll now move on to the next chapter of The Hungry Housewife. Jessie lay back among the tousled sheets, gasping for breath as her secret lover fell panting beside her. He turned and whispered in her ear, How was it for you, love? Jessie smiled. Not bad, but next time come in more quietly or you'll wake the neighbours. He laughed. I'll try harder next time. He pushed a stray strand of hair from her flushed face and... Oh, wait a minute. We have a viewer and a comment. I'll put my glasses on for this. Oh, and it's a message from Roger who says, I love all your ebooks and can't wait to get my hands on The Hungry Housewife. Oh, well, thank you so much, Roger. You are in luck because the ebook came online today and is available at the special book launch day price of only 99 pence. Oh, and we have another question from Roger. How do I get the inspiration for my stories? Well, Roger, you know a girl can't tell all her secrets. Sometimes you have to leave things to your readers' imaginations. Oh, he's typing again. I like your wet shirt. I can see your bra. It's pink. I like pink undies. What? You bloody weirdo. I am a respectably married woman, Roger. Right, there you go. No more Roger. Just because I write about sex, it doesn't mean I'm some sort of sex addict. I'm a professional author and I write from my imagination. Goes the same for Stephen King. He's not a mass serial killer. He's an author and writes from his imagination too. God. Right. Oh. Okay. Night, baby. Yeah, I'll be up in a minute. Steve. Make sure you read him a story, will you? A nice story, not a dinosaur one again. Well, that terrified him. Oh, and check the wardrobe and underneath his bed for crocodiles. Well, you were the one that let him watch that bloody David Attenborough documentary. Right. Okay, where were we? Yes, reading. I'm now going to read from chapter 3. Okay. Oh, no, I'm not. We have another question. Okay, let's see. This is from Diana. She writes, am I ashamed that my books objectify women as sex objects? Thanks for that, Diana. If you've actually read any of my books, you'll know I objectify everyone as sex objects. Even some objects are objectified. It's just a natural human process, for God's sake. And we all do it. And if we didn't do it, well, there wouldn't be a human race. Anyway, it's not sexist if I sexualise everyone. Oh, Christ, what was that? Oh, God, never mind. Right, we've got time for one last question from Amy. Some of your ideas are quite wild. How do you get the ideas? Well, definitely not from personal experience. As I said before, I'm an author, so I just have a vivid imagination, that's all. Well, okay, so thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you found it fun and informative. If you'd like to download your copy of The Hungry Housewife, the links are below. So I'll see you again soon. Bye. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, that was agony.
Why me? Why? My father is dead. My mother is dead. My husband is dead. My daughter is dead. But I'm here, talking to you, talking to anyone who would listen. They were waiting for the mamuni. I had forgotten the mamuni for breakfast. I mean, what is breakfast without mamuni? So I went past the arch, down the fountain, to fetch the bowl for the mamuni. Then, the ceiling was on the floor. The walls were on the floor. The windows flew off. There was dust, things breaking everywhere. And the smell. There was a smell of burning. My fingers, my arms, my head. I had them, all of them. And I saw that they didn't. Abdul and Shazia got me out of the house before the roof fell in. Come! You must come with us. We need to get out of the village. It's not safe. Come before it's too late, they said. So we got into the back of a truck. There were others there before us. Days and nights, and days and nights. We were packed tight, like oranges in a box. Every now and then, a piece of bread and a mug half full of water would appear in my hand. Eventually, we got to the camp. And then somebody shouted, "You must register!" So I got into the back of a queue. Men, women, children, and a dog. A dog! My papers. I panicked. My papers. I thought I forgot my papers. My father, my mother, my husband, my daughter. We were never a moment without our papers. But I had my papers. You may wonder, why doesn't she ever say their names? I know, I'd be wondering if I were you. I sang, not thought. I sang a note of their own. They were not just a name. They were who they were. My father, my mother, my husband, my daughter, my daughter. All of them dead. I pray a bomb, a bullet, strike, lightning strike me right here. Right now. Tell me, how do I find the courage to live? Tell me.
I look at my watch again as I hastily park my car on the gravel. 4 minutes past 1. I should have been here 1.5 hours ago. I pray that I won't bash into the wooden post or run over the peacock strutting around at the edge of the lawn. Ah, this looks a lovely old building. I grab my jacket off the back seat and rush to the entrance. Wait, what if it's the wrong place? I was in such a mad rush I didn't even look at the sign at the front of the driveway. I stop at the top step and try to calm down. Pulling up my trousers, retying my shoelace and brushing what little hair I have left at the top of my head. I take a deep breath and whisper, relax. I'm fed up of going to these do's on my own. I try my best to forget about the spot. The kind you only get for the party. Hopefully no one will notice. There are worse things. I open the door where a smart receptionist greets me. Is this the first hotel? Yes, she kindly says. A woman of few words, it turns out, but she still irritatingly manages to point out my spot. Not contagious, is it? It's all over. What? You've missed the ceremony? Oh, just starting lunch. She walks out from behind the reception area. Follow me, please. We walk down a corridor over some creaking floorboards. Here we are. The receptionist notices I'm a bit nervous and says, Oh, take it easy, it's not your wedding. I thank her for her assistance. I scan the room and search for Brian and Rachel. I've only met her once. Thankfully, she's the one in the wedding dress. Brian! Rachel! Congratulations! What a venue. You look stunning. Her or me, says Brian. I wasn't expecting you, but it's great to see you. We didn't get a reply. I definitely emailed her. Brian says, I just assumed you couldn't make it. Rachel, you remember Mark, my old school friend? Yeah, she says, how are you? I'm so sorry. I got lost and hit this terrible traffic. He never did have any sense of direction. Brian chips in. Don't worry, mate. You're here now. I'm sure they'll squeeze you in somewhere. Take a seat. Enjoy yourself and we'll catch up later. Brian explains the situation to the head waiter who guides me to the table. Please, do take a seat over here. Obviously Italian, or if not, he's doing a pretty good impersonation of one. But it's the children's table, I point out as if he doesn't know. Look, don't fret, no one else to sit, does he? Ah, I see, I demonstrate a fake protest. Yes, we're not a baby. I'm afraid my joke's totally lost on him. Look, I know, we're all the big boys here, yes? Come on now. He probably thinks I'm crazy. At this point, he pulls the chair from under the table. I completely miss it and fall flat on the floor. The entire table bursts into laughter. Some even clap. I sense I'm blushing and try my best to make the whole thing look as natural as possible, then start laughing myself, but he isn't happy. Don't you cause me trouble, you're worse than bambinos. I introduce myself to the table. It feels strange sitting here. I mean, I know I look young, but this is ridiculous. Paul, the boy to my right, says, That was well cool. I thought the entertainment had started early. Huh. He has a good sense of humour considering he's just 11 and seems old and wise beyond his years. They take turns to grill me with rapid-fire questions. Children are very direct, aren't they? Are you a big child? No. Are you very old? I'm only 25. Are your mummy and daddy here? No, they're not. Why are you here? I'm Brian's friends, although we only meet up a few times a year. Do you have any brothers or sisters? Yeah, I got one sister. What football team do you support? Derby. Oh, Derby. Why is this soup cold? It's meant to be. It's cold gazpacho. Have you got a girlfriend? Unfortunately not. Followed by the inevitable, why not? Now, that's a long story. And the last considered question from Paul is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And my reply, well, you've stumped me there, kid, you really have. But I'm working on it. I'm fascinated by their questions and ask them a few of my own. Then I look across and spot someone who I haven't seen since I left school. Paul notices me looking across and asks who it is. Someone I was very fond of. Did you have a crush on her? Oh, you could say that. Why did you ask her out? She's probably with someone, I say. She possibly doesn't even remember me. Plus, she's talking to somebody. That doesn't mean anything, he confidently replies. Go and ask her. Oh, I don't know. I feel awkward and I don't want to make a fool of myself. Surely you've already done that, he replies. Well, I have to hand it to him. Look, why would she want to talk to a spotty short ass like me? Stop making excuses. I tell him that he's beginning to sound like my mum. You've got to go for it, Matt. If you don't, I'll go and ask if you... I will, you know. I'm certain of it. Alright then, anything to stop him from carrying on. So, bolstered by this charming bright boy with all the right patter, I walk over to her. Hi, Connie. Oh, Matt. How wonderful to see you. Oh, she's as warm and radiant as I remember. I didn't know you were here. She says, yeah, I'm on the children's table over there. The children's table? You always were, young at heart. I smile. So, how's life been treating you, Connie? Very well, thanks. And you? Can't complain. Then she says this. Are you seeing anyone at the moment, Matt? No. How about you? No one at the moment. I then pluck up enough courage to ask her, would you like to meet up next week? Her answer, oh, I'd really love that. And my enthusiastic response, oh, you would? Oh, can't wait.
Began with a smile. Everything came together. And I'm not one to easily impress. But it felt real. At least, I think it was real. The honeymoon period is always the best. Until they show their real selves. And I loved him. And I thought he loved me. Too naive, I guess. Feeling suffocated. Held back, can't do nothing. You've changed, I mumble. He yells back in annoyance. I've not changed. I've always been the same. But he hadn't. I knew that. One day, I was out with friends. He was supposed to join, but he didn't for some reason. Paranoid. He wasn't happy. That was when I got the first bruise. Saturday, September 2016. I'll never forget it. I mustered up the courage. And I told him, what? You're paranoid I'll find someone better than you. He gently and tightly wrapped his hands around my throat. I couldn't breathe. It got tighter and tighter. It felt like I'd run the marathon. He whispered coldly in my ear, no, you won't find anyone better than me. Look at you. You're a mess. You're an ugly You get my point. Well, beaten after beaten. Scarred, marked, bruised. I don't know where the strength came from, but I got together my already packed suitcase. And I left. I didn't look back. Because I knew I deserved better. I don't know what he's doing now. And I don't care. Because I'm engaged. Thank God I met my fiancé. The love of my life. The man who saved me. The man that I had been looking for. The one I knew I deserved. Because now I know what love is. probably don't want to hear this, do you? Rich girl problems, we probably barely even make a minimum wage. How do you even become an electrician, anyway? Day 1, do you get shocked? Day 2, are you qualified? Anyway, we'll start with this girl, Jess. And don't pretend like you don't know who she is. You've seen her face plastered all over social media somewhere. Her cute little pretty innocent face. She started up her own business in town. This advertising agency, which basically means she charges people to take photos of them and then pays social media to promote them. She called it the Hot Ads Agency. Which is ironic, really. Because about 1 month later, someone set fire to her hair. We're at this nightclub in town, Players. She wore this tight cocktail dress, this weird flouncy bit on the skirt. Disgusting. And I saw her roll her lipstick between her lips and pout in the bathroom mirror. God, and I got as fuck in this tonight, she said. If I leave without getting laid, I might as well just die. Didn't take long. The door opened and closed more times than I'd got myself a drink. Came up the cubicle not long after that. So did she. And him. She knew that I'd heard her. And I think that was the point that she decided that if anything happened that night, she was going to frame it all on me. Dog could have pissed on her feet and it would have been my fault. Well, we were dancing, not aware of each other, just there, in the room. And that's when I saw this big burst of orange at the corner of my eye. And everyone started screaming, saying, Jess's hair's on fire, Jess's hair's on fire. Oh my God, someone help, Jess's hair is on fire. That's all kind of funny, really. The bartender did some sort of action movie manoeuvre, jumped over the bar, run over to her, wrapped her up and put her out. And guess what? It took her precisely 27 minutes before she started blaming me. She said that I did it because she caught me doing cocaine in the bathroom. Bullshit. Don't do drugs. You see what that shit does to your teeth. But you've done drugs, haven't you? But you live in a council estate with 4 kids by 3 different mums. Oh. Have you ever had any sex in your life that actually was consensual? Sorry. Jess harassed me for days. She stalked my profile and took photos from when we were kids and put filters over them. Like devil eyes, so I looked evil. Not that you know what filters are. I told her, I said I looked hot as fuck. To be fair, I was going to block her. But the only way to keep track of what was going on was to view every sick, twisted lie that she was posting about me. It wasn't long before others kept speaking out, saying that I'd stabbed them and burned them and slept with their boyfriends. To be fair, only one of them is true. Didn't know what else to do. It was like it kept coming in and, oh, thanks to the hot ads agency, people spamming my inbox and telling me to kill myself. Even though one of the boyfriends, one of them who was saying it, he was a convicted abuser. God. It's like a tidal wave of hate. And for everyone that I blocked, another three would pop up in its place. And no, I didn't think about killing myself. Thanks for asking. I thought about revenge though. It was something really clever. You know those like Trojan horse things that those weird computer freaks do? One of them. I was going to send one to them so they get affected. I was going to label it as my confession. They wouldn't suspect a thing. But I didn't. And I didn't because I'm a nice person. I don't want to see them get hurt. No one. Well, you have to believe me because my dad's taxes pay your wages. I didn't light her hair on fire. I like her hair. It's ginger. Natural. That's rare these days. And now, I have to go to the police station to clear my name. Because if everyone else has done the same thing, what else am I meant to do? Little Colleen Simpson stabbed me. Little Colleen Simpson gave my husband a blowjob. Little Colleen Simpson, little Colleen, little old me. Gotta be sick of my own name by the end of this. Well, because that fucking slag decides to play God and turn her disciples against me. Good luck, missus. Do you want to think? Mr. Electrician. Mr. Sparky. It's true. Everything I told you is the truth. I didn't light her hair on fire. I was aiming for her face.
The police are trying to make us believe she committed suicide. No. No way. Not my baby girl. Why would she do that? She was 14 years old. She wasn't depressed. She wasn't mentally unstable. I know she didn't love school, but who does? She was just a typical angsty teenager. She was moody, slept a lot, hated school. She spent a lot of time on her own. But her brother's exactly the same, and he's not jumping in front of any trains, is he? I can assure you she wasn't suicidal. She didn't jump. Have you heard of this thing called Bernoulli's theorem or something like that? I've been reading up about it with trains. The pressure from an incoming train can actually pull people forward, something like that. Didn't really understand the concept, but it's a thing. The pressure from an incoming train can suck people off the platform towards the train. I tried contacting the train company, but they won't let me have the CCTV. Why? What are they hiding? That's what I want to know. If she jumped, show me. Show me the evidence. They just don't want a lawsuit on their hands, that's it. It just doesn't make sense. It's not like she didn't have stuff to look forward to. That very evening we were going to go and see her do a routine with her dance class. She loved dance. For Christmas we'd got her tickets to see Billie Eilish. That was coming up soon. And we were going to Florida in the summer with all the family. Grandparents and cousins, aunts and uncles. She had a countdown thing on her phone. I know she was looking forward to that because she wouldn't shut up about it. Tell me, why would she commit suicide? There's no reason. There's no reason at all. My nephew, he doesn't go to my children's school, but he knows some of the kids there. He's heard things. The sort of things that make me sick to my stomach. But he's convinced what he's heard is true. He heard that this lad from Tammy's year pushed her. Pushed her in front of the train. That's murder. God, I don't want to believe it. But it makes a damn sight more sense than her having jumped. She was just a moody teenager. It was hormonal mood swings. She wasn't suicidal. She wasn't depressed. She didn't jump, no way. Not my baby girl. Something else happened. It was something else. Something else went down. She didn't jump.
I never wanted to go to a boxing match. It was Channel Atcoid who persuaded me. Where else can two young lasses like us see a load of sweaty men riding around in shorts, knocking some bells out of each other? She said. Downtown on a Friday night, I felt like saying manage the shorts, of course. She got two ringside tickets from this lad she was seeing at the leisure centre. She was supposed to go with him, but had been involved in an unfortunate accident with a kid's poolside party and some discarded gel that had left him with a slipped disc on one of those horrible metal frames on his leg. So I agreed to go instead. Well, we couldn't tell my mum, of course, because she thought Cheryl were coming. So we made up this story that we were going to see Patrick Swayze in Ghost at the cinema. Oh, he could have haunted me any time. I've never been to a working men's club before, let alone a boxing match. And there we sat, and somewhere through the cigarette smoke I could just about make out the boxing ring. And there in the middle was Charlie Jepson, the Barnsley bomber. Oh, he got a body that looked like it had been chiselled out of stone, and a smile that melted my heart, even with his gum shielding. Northern Area Middleweight Champion, 17 fights unbeaten, all his wins by knockout. He smiled at me when we got out of the ring, and that was it. That was it. 4 weeks later we were married. And that's how we stayed for 26 years. 26 years of pure, unadulterated misery. That was until a fortnight ago. The end of the Barnsley bomber. Not floored by an uppercut in the ring, no, but by I'm putting up a bloody Christmas tree. Heart attack. Doctor said he never knew what had hit him, which is unusual for a boxer. I came home to find him lying in a pile of crushed baubles and fairy lights, looking every bit the pathetic little man he really was. They looked quite peaceful, to be honest. Oh, they all came out of the woodwork for the funeral. I bet the shops had sold out of those cheap black tie and shirt sets. I greeted them all with warm beer and polished veneer, and sat listening to all the bollocks they were talking about him. Hey, what as fit as a fiddle! He was 5 stone overweight and his blood pressure was sky high. He kept himself to himself. He had no real friends. He liked to tipple. He was a raving alcoholic. He always spoke his mind. He could start an argument in a phone box. He didn't suffer fools. He was a miserable bastard. He was a grafter. He was an idle sod. He had a cracky left hook, put a few down in his younger days. Yeah, that left hook stayed with him right till the end. In and out of the ring. One wrong look, one wrong word, one cold meal, and I knew there'd be a price to pay. Maybe I'd had too much wine, or maybe I was just tired of listening to all the bullshit they were talking about him. But for the first time in 26 years, I found I had a voice. I even surprised myself how loud I sounded. Right, he said. You've had your free piss up and your food, now get your doggy bags, your cliches and your crocodile teeth and fuck off! Silence. You could have heard a pin drop. But there was no stopping me now. You are the ones who turned your blind eyes. You are the ones who never asked where I got the bruises. Not one of you. Not one of you ever asked how I was. Or how I got the marks. Because you all knew. If you want to hear the truth, you can hear it from me. I'm glad the bastard's gone. All eyes turned to the floor, and slowly they walked out, leaving me standing in a room full of half-finished beer and half-eaten buffet. When I was sure they'd all gone, I locked up and went upstairs. And there on the bed were 2 neat packages. The first, a pack of extra strong 20 black bin liners, freshly purchased the day before. I opened my wardrobe, and every piece of clothing he had ever chose for me was stuffed into those bags. Every boring knee-length dress, every navy high-neck top, and every fucking shoe. The 3 trips I took to the charity shop were the best I've had for a long time. And the other package, call it my new chapter post-husband, thank God he's gone, Meadowhall blowout. I took out my new red dress, the one which would have been too bloody short. I took out my new golden heels, the ones which would have been too bloody high. And then I stared at my new lippy, the deepest, darkest, come and get me red you had ever seen. And after a few minutes of looking at them, they all went in the bin liners too. Why? Because I never wanted them. But I wanted it to be my choice not to have them. So there I was in my bedroom, standing naked and makeupless, looking in my full-length mirror. No silver, no gold, no mask to wear. Saying to myself over and over again, this is me, and I am free. This is me, and I am free. I hope he's here today, taking a rest from whatever shit is causing down there. He might not recognise me anymore. I've changed a lot. So if you're listening, Charlie Jackson, see me smile. Hear me laugh. And watch me thrive.
Eventually it was decided by Stalin that I should go to America to fight the ideological war, to convince the United States to open a second front and support us in our fight against the fascists. The Americans were generally kind and friendly, but the newspapers asked me stupid questions about my hair and makeup. I grew frustrated at their lack of respect for a female soldier and their obsession with the unimportant details of my wardrobe. I did my duty for Comrade Stalin. Spoke English, stayed at the White House, and befriended the president's wife. I met film stars and singers, businessmen. It was my duty and perhaps another different story in itself. On my return, I taught at the Red Army Sniper School. I was now responsible for teaching the new ones. Those young boys and girls to hide and wait. and aim and shoot. And kill. I often think of that girl, Maria, and the promise that I made. And sometimes at night, when the pain of my old injuries keeps me awake, I ask myself, did I do enough? And I don't know. When the Soviet Union was invaded in 1941, we weren't ready. We weren't prepared for war. To turn the tide, they placed rifles in the unblistered hands of women and sent us to the meat grinder too. But we were just girls. Tender young flowers. How could we drive Hitler from our home using rifles made in Tula Arsenal in 1917? But we did. We found the strength within ourselves and our common purpose to drive the sausage-eating fascists from our home. Some say that I was a myth, that I never existed. They say a woman could not kill 309 men. A lot of that talk comes from inside my own country, inside of the Red Army. It's the shame, you see. My country had to turn to women to save it from the Nazis. Weak women. Teachers, nurses, mothers, wives came to our rescue. After the war ended, we were expected to just go back to our ordinary domestic lives. But we were not welcome. Women spat at us. What possible reason could we have to go to war other than to fuck their husbands? And the men at home didn't want to marry rough soldiers. They wanted quiet, obedient beauties. They wanted us to give up the strength and independence that we had earned and become weak flowers once again. But many of us couldn't. Wouldn't. I was not a myth. And I was not a flower. I was never a flower. They call me Lady Death. But I am a sniper. And I am proud.
Okay, that was Endurance UK. massive congratulations to the performers. Some really strong stuff tonight. Just a few more things from me before I say goodnight, because it is night here. Some shout outs. A big shout out to Nyakachana and Arts Business Academy for donating between them almost $5,000 of cash for prizes for their performers, which is very wonderfully generous of them. You can register for World Monologue Games if you'd like to sign up as a fan and get notifications of all of our events, or you can sign up as a performer for next year. We're already taking registrations. Link in the description of this video. You can hit the like button if you enjoyed the show, and you can subscribe if you want to get more of our events. Now, I am just going to make a change to the description of this video. I'm just hitting the save button to a draft, and that means you can now vote. So if you are watching live, you're going to have to refresh the screen, and there will be a link to a voting form in the description of the video, and you can pick your 2 favorite performers. Just a couple of important notes on that. You do need to have an account. That's just to make sure that we get good votes and we don't have people trying to cheat and vote multiple times. And if you are one of the performers, please do not share this voting link in any way, shape or form. Make sure you share a link to the show and encourage your friends and followers to actually watch. So we had 6 shows in the endurance category. This was 6 of 6, and we had 2 shows in our sprint category, also the last 2 weekends. Sprint is 45 to 60 seconds. We are going to be announcing the winners of both of those categories this coming Wednesday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that is exactly now, 8 p.m. in exactly 3 days. For whatever time it is for you, rather, in exactly 3 days. But 8 p.m. Wednesday, we'll be announcing the winners. If you want to join us and see who's going through to the globals, you are very welcome to. We have much more World Monologue games coming up. Next week we have the Tigers, the under 12s, and the following week we have youth, the teen performers. After that, we have 2 weekends of the main professional category. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Again, huge congratulations to the performers. Some really powerful stuff in tonight. I will see you soon. Bye.